No, you're not seeing things. It is bright and early in the morning. Bright and early, actually before sunup. We are going to attempt to get the grumpy B-12 finished up. So let me get all these guys moved out, and the grumpy is right over there. Well, yeah, it's time. See the engine sitting there. I showed you guys that bolt in the previous video and the importance of it, and I said, well, I've got some others that were purpose built, and yeah, I found them. So there's what the older / original ones look like. Just a big blocky rectangle, nice and thick. Goes down in this hole right here. Put that in before you set your engine in place, because if you don't, you're gonna be sorry. All right, got everything gathered together and ready to go, so we'll switch over to the time lapse, get the engine set down in there, get the drive shaft attached, and then we'll come back to real time, show you how to tension up the belt for the hydro lift. Guess who forgot to start the time lapse? This guy. Okay, well, everything's in. What I need to do now is align the hydro pump pulley as well as tension the hydro pump pulley. So when I was putting the engine in, I cinched 2 of the bolts down to pull the hydro in enough so the belt would rest on it and on the pulley that is on the drive shaft. So I suppose a little bit more light wouldn't hurt, huh? There, now you can see. Okay. So we need to get the pump raised up as well as get the pulley aligned. So I've got the pulley loose. Pulley will move in and out. Let's see. Maybe. See, pulley's moving in and out. What I'm going to do is I've got to loosen those 2 bolts right there. The third one is way down here. You see it right there. Typically, all I do is, if you look right underneath, there's the hydro. That piece right there. Camera in the way. So you guys see? Right there. On that little chain link, I lock it into float. Then I put that there. And then I take my pry bar. And that's where I pry to tension the hydro. So I'm going to loosen those bolts, get that pulled up and get it semi-tensioned. Once it is semi-tensioned, then I will align the pulley, then I'll do the final tension. So give me a second to get set up. Alright, I've got it where it appears as though it is parallel with the drive shaft pulley. So I'm going to tighten her down. And we're going to check it. Take a look again. They like to move a little bit. I'm just looking straight down from the top. And it looks good. So we'll give that a final tighten. Gonna call that good. Now you'll be able to see the pump move. Maybe. Hang on. There, you can see that things are moving there. I had partial tension on it to get the pulley aligned. Now I'm going to put the final tension on it, and you will need a 1/2 inch box end. And while holding pressure, which you cannot see, I've got the pry bar holding pressure, I'm going to tighten things down. And then I'll check my pulley alignments again after I get everything tightened down, because there's a little bit of a gap there that pulls the pump away a little bit when things are not completely locked down. I'm knocking my flashlight over, so you guys have to be in the dark for a second. Once you get 2 cinched down, you can take your pry bar out. It's not going to move after that, and you can go in and tackle the third one, which is the more difficult one to get. But if you're lucky and you have a shallow enough ratchet, a shallow enough head on it, you can get in there just like this. Maybe. I've got a 6-point socket on there, so I've got all, there we go. Then come in, cinch down that last one. And I usually take my pry bar and I just poke the belt, make sure I've got some deflection, but not a lot of deflection. Just checking the tightness of it. I guess you want it as tight as, oh, I don't know, 18 to 20-year-old, somewhere around there. I know that was bad. A funny analogy, but a bad analogy. And check your alignment again. And it looks like now I need to move that pulley back towards the firewall a little bit. So let me get that drive shaft turned a little bit so I can get to the Allen key, the set screw. Put it in there, loosen it. I'll stick my pry bar down through the top and knock it back in just a hair. Check again. Still needs to go back a little more. Come on, get back there. Check again. Still needs to go back just a little bit more. When you're fighting confined spaces all the while, so just be aware of that and be ready for it. Do I not have that loosened up enough? I'm pretty sure I do. Oh, I didn't have it loosened up enough. Okay. Overkill, and bring it back out until it looks lined up. That looks really close. I'm going to cinch it down. And next thing we're going to do is I'll stick the battery in it, start the engine, and check the belt, and check the tension, and operate the hydro. We'll just do that at idle, so hang on for that. Alright, it's go time. Let's see if she'll start. I'm supposed to say something, I don't remember what it is. What is it? You guys remind me? Oh yeah. 3, 2, 1. Grumpy B-12. Contact. See if she'll start. Forgot to tighten something down. We are charging. Give me a minute, I've got to adjust the throttle cable. When I get the throttle cable adjusted correctly, it's down, the cable's down too far on the capture. I need to raise it up just a little bit, and then we'll test the hydro. Alright, hydro lift test time. No leaks in the carb, which is good. Still have to fine tune the carburetor adjustment. Got the throttle adjusted. And start her back up, see where she wants to rest. Good. Take it out of float. Move it up. Move it down. There we go, one hydro installed. And come around here, one right hand lift lever installed, so you can run 2 implements. Yeah, got a mixed match of orange and yellow parts, and orange gas tank, and that tank's been repaired a few times. But we're golden. It's doing everything it's supposed to do. So what's next? Well, this is going to end the hydro install video. So, thank you guys for hanging out. It's also going to end the engine install, to which I forgot to do the time lapse on. But it's in, obviously. And I will link in the description and comments the video on pulling the engine. That way anybody wanting to do this, you'll be well informed. And then I showed you guys getting the hydro in. Of course, I took it all the way apart so you could see how absolutely everything gets assembled for installing the hydro lift. But you do not have to take the whole thing apart. You have one nut right, get my hand out of the way, One nut right there, where my finger's at. That's holding the top of the dash. This piece. These two bolts. Those two bolts. The two bolts here. Take your cap off if you have one. Take the 5/32 out. Take your steering wheel off if you want to. You do not have to. You do need to lift that collar. So, in lifting that collar, that will give you about 2.5 inches of dash lift, which is enough for you to get the shift quadrant out. It does have to come out in order for you to get the back bracket on and to get the pin into the cylinder. Once you get that, you can just leave everything loose and hanging out up here, so you've got more access and more visibility to getting your hydro unit tucked in there. If you're doing a full assembly like I did, you saw how I just took everything and set everything in place with the dash tower off. You can do the same thing without taking the dash tower off. It's a little more tricky, but you can get everything back there. Of course, you're going to want your rear sleeve hitch rod disconnected and out of the way until you get everything positioned, and then you bring it back in to pin it, along with pinning the front of the hydro cylinder. But we're golden. We've got a hydro lift. We have a right hand lift. The engine is in. So there's been a number of different videos for good old Grumpy here. There's still one to go, and that's going to be on a light bar and light install, so you guys can watch out for that. This is more or less just a series on adding accessories, with the exception of just upgrading from a Smoky 12 horse to the 16 horse that we have in there now. So that's it. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, sticking around this long, for the 10+ million views that my channel has gotten, and for nearly the past 15 years. October 7th marks 15 years I've been on YouTube. So if you guys watch me, even if you just watch me occasionally and you're not subscribed, if you subscribe, you get your choice to pick notify me sometimes or notify me all the time. If you hit notify me all the time, every time I post a story or I post a video, you're going to get a notification that lets you know, hey, Zippo just put something up. Just makes it easier on you. So if you'd be so kind, hit that subscribe button for me. Thank you guys for 15 great years. Let's keep our fingers crossed for 15 more. You know the rest. I'll see you on the next one.